So what is mercy? Like, mercy is not getting what you do deserve.
Yeah.
Grace is getting what you don't deserve, but mercy is not getting the judgment that you do deserve. And so implied in mercy, in us asking for mercy, is our guilt, like, is that we do deserve judgment. And so I think we have to start there. We have to recognize all have sinned. And from the beginning, from the story of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, they were reaching out for that tree. And what's so interesting, because what they wanted was good judgment apart from God, right? That's what was wrapped up in that tree, is good judgment. And now we all have flawed judgment. And we start judging everybody with our flawed judgment. But God gave us mercy. The response to our sin, and the impending judgments, God said, if you eat from this fruit, you will die. You will surely die. And this is where corruption entered. It's like our distortion. Everything went badly at that tree. That good judgment tree is what I called it in this book. But everything went badly, and everything that we have experienced and every wrong that we have imposed on others, it all begins with us looking at something that God says is bad, is evil, and we think it looks good. And so we all deserve his judgment for that. Death is the primary judgment. Every time you go to a funeral, you can just go in with, okay, well, here's the evidence that this is a sinner. Like, our funerals will say the same thing. Death makes it evident that we deserve judgment. And this is part of that judgment. Death is our judgment for sin. But God is merciful. He has been so, so merciful. And so, I think it's really important that we think about that final judgment. There is a judge, and he will judge. So, and we see glimpses of that throughout the Bible, like the story of the flood. I started the book with that story because I think we have to get it established. There is a judge, and he does judge people. I think the world right now wants to say, just focus on like the mercy of Christ. And there is mercy in that story of the flood. Like, don't just look at the flood, also look at the ark. And that's God's mercy is rising above his judgment. He wants us to know about his mercy. And yet there is a judge, and there will be a judgment, and all will stand before that judge one day. I put an appendix in the back of this book, kind of judgy, because I want to, it's all about like judgment. I can't remember the title of it, but it's like, what does the Bible say about this final judgment? We need to have that, at the ready. So we are fully aware there is a judgment, there is a judge, and he does judge. And I mean, think about, like, just for a moment, think about if he didn't judge, if there was no judgment. I saw this show about this really good judge. He's a good, kind, merciful judge. Everybody loved him. He's like this beautiful character. And then his son commits a crime, and out of his love for his son, he doesn't judge his son. He covers it up. And it just like leads to this cascading effects of, this man, he totally loses his bearings. It's like one sin is to cover another, all this deception and lies and everything. And so he just this judge falls into it got so dark I couldn't even finish watching. It was bad. And that's what would happen if our judge didn't judge. He is righteous, he is good, and he is not like that judge in the show. He will judge because of it. He's a God of justice. So it would not be right for him to not judge sin. And so that's the kind of God he is. And yet one day, those of us who are in Christ, right, who have responded to the story of great mercy, we will not get that judgment. Imagine that day when others will be cast out into that outer darkness, and yet you will be welcomed in. He will look at you and say, oh, she belongs. Come, come to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Come and enjoy this fellowship, and come to my kingdom. Come, enter in. We don't deserve that, Rachel, and yet that's what we will receive. That's this beautiful mercy. And that should change the way that we see ourselves and see other people, even when we're self-judging, even when we're casting judgment on ourselves. We have to remember, like, God is too just to judge someone twice. Our judgment has already been dealt with on the cross. It was horrific. Jesus took care of that. And so for God to, like, I think sometimes we feel like I'm just that girl. I can't, she's just awful, just waiting for the other, waiting for me to sin. feeling like this distance. I think that's how we see God, right? That he just feels that way about me. It's like, no, he already dealt with my sin on the cross, and his arms are wide open. Picture the arms of Jesus wide open on that cross. That is his mercy for you. And he's not waffling between the two. He loves us. He welcomes us. He did everything possible to welcome us back after we fell into sin. And so that is the great mercy of our good God.